So I'm going to talk about what it's like to be bipolar. And a lot of people I think have this misconception like it's depression and mania and you have a lot of energy versus like low energy, but it's like a lot more than that. I think to me being manic is a lot more than just having more energy and being like out of control or whatever. I don't actually know what people think, but like the definition that people get is kind of like misleading in my opinion. And of course, people have different experiences with it. So what I'm saying right now is not what everybody um experiences, of course, but I'm going to go through what like a depressive episode and a manic episode looks like for me. So, I guess I'm going to start with how I found out that I was bipolar. Honestly, like ever since third grade, I knew that something wasn't right. It was more like anxiety though. It felt like I was worried about everything and I couldn't make decisions, and it was just like I can't describe the feeling. It was just like everything made me nervous. And like that's when it started, and like I went to see like a therapist and she didn't really know what was going on. She just was like, "Oh, you just have anxiety," sort of thing. But like this would keep me up at night and stuff. But like it was fine, but it wasn't until 6th grade that we really knew something was wrong and different, and we had to like go see someone about this. Like in 6th grade, a lot of things happened. It was more like towards the middle and end of the year. It was like I was doing like weird stuff. I cut like my hair really badly. That was rough. And like I had many instances where I like got sent to the principal's office. I think at one point I was like touching people's backs just like for fun. It wasn't, I don't know, but people found it weird. Like it was really, and like I got in trouble for that, of course. And I also got suspended for stealing money from a teacher's desk. And when I think about that, or even like after I did it, I was like, why did I do that? Like, I didn't even spend the money or anything. I was like literally just taking it because I knew it was worth something. And I don't even know what I was thinking at the time. It was like I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I was literally sitting at the teacher's desk and did it during class. Like, it was so obvious. And like, I don't even know. But that's when it was really like I realized it was out of control. Like I would say things that were like mean and like I didn't mean, and I was just, yeah. I was bouncing from project to project and not getting anything done, and it was like I was so excited all the time and I didn't have to sleep. So yeah, it was when it was like, yeah, we need to do something about this, and I went to see different psychiatrists after that to like try to figure out what I had. And that's when I started taking medications. And honestly, I don't think they really like I don't know. I just feel like I was taking a combination of medications at the time that didn't really help me in particular, and it was really hard because it's like you have to find the right fit and whatever. But honestly, it was so hard to find like the right fit. Anyway, so like when I would be depressed, like even now or before, it's just like everything going through your mind. I mean, it's probably the same with different people going through depression, but you think about everything through this like dark lens. Like everything that happened in the past that made you like embarrassed or feel bad just like gets so much worse in your mind, and you keep thinking about it over and over, and like you worry about that and like what people think of you. You're like, nobody likes me because I did that one thing that one time, and like, oh, I can't do this in the future, like this is hopeless. And it's just, yeah. And honestly, when I'm depressed, like my mind races more than when I'm manic, and I definitely stay up at night more. Like my mind keeps me awake when I'm depressed more than when I'm manic. um and like when I'm depressed, I don't feel like doing anything, and it's really hard to get things done or even like bring myself to do stuff. Like I remember specifically this one time, like for some reason car rides were so like good, and I wouldn't say fun because nothing's really that fun when you're depressed, but like when a car ride was over, it was like really sad because in a car when you're just like going somewhere, you don't have to do anything. You're just like driving or just sitting in a car. Like it doesn't feel like you have to do something. But when you get out of it, it's like what am I doing? Like I gotta go inside and like feel like I'm doing something, but you don't really know what to do because you don't feel like doing anything. I don't know. I don't know. That was a weird feeling. Actually, last summer, I was also really depressed. Like, a lot of my, or a lot of people that I thought were my friends or like I considered friends weren't like responding to my messages or kept blowing me off and stuff. So it was just a really sad time in general. And I had also torn my ACL at the beginning of that summer. So that like kept me in and did not help. So, yeah, I just had like so much time for my brain to just go off in different directions and think about stuff. Okay, manic episodes. So, there's like different levels of mania. So, I'm gonna just talk about like the basic one, like mild, I wouldn't say mild, like not hypermania basically. It's kind of just like your brain is running on high, little like it can move fast and sometimes that can be a good thing. Like you can get work done. It's just like you can get work done a lot faster, but sometimes it's harder to get it done properly, especially if like your mood keeps going up. It's like your brain keeps moving faster and faster and eventually like the work that you're doing doesn't make a lot of sense. But honestly, being a little bit like higher than normal is helpful because you can like you feel so much more productive. So I don't think it's always a bad thing that like as long as you can kind of like figure out how to maintain your mood, being bipolar can actually be like beneficial in a way. You kind of know like different perspectives on life. And honestly, I don't know. I like to say that I'm thankful for the experiences that I've had and like how I had to go through all that, but at the same time, I wouldn't just say to anyone like, "Oh, it was a great experience. Like you should definitely like have the opportunity to do that too." Like I wouldn't say that, but like I am grateful that I like had those experiences and got through them and just like have that different perspective on life. So, yeah, being manic is like that. Like, you feel like you can get a lot of things done. Like, I end up cleaning a lot when I'm like a little like above a normal point. Because, like, when you're bipolar, it's kind of like your mood just goes like this. And like, this is the middle ground. And you can kind of like gauge where you are, like if you're really depressed or only a little depressed and then you're like a little manic and then you're just like all the way up there, like you have no idea what's going on. But like being a little above the middle line is like I would say where most people like in general would want to be, like in elevated mood but not to the point where you're like not able to do stuff. So I guess the most interesting part of my life is being hypermanic. It's not like fun looking back, and it's definitely like you do embarrassing things sometimes because you're not like thinking things through. But when I'm hypermanic, it's like I think there are different realities and like life is so different. I used to think that like things moved by themselves or like things I don't even know were giving us messages through like the radio or like lights flashing or just numbers and sounds that happen in general, like they were all related to each other. And like I would take extensive notes about this. Like I would write the time stuff changed, and you know how like different clocks like move at like different speeds. So I would look at my like phone time and then my computer time and then the time on my alarm clock, and they were all slightly different. And so when one changed, like the other two would still be on the minute before. So it was like the difference in times made me feel like there when I was recording a time, it was more specific than if I just looked at 1 o'clock and stuff like that. And then when you turn on the radio, I'd record like songs that I heard with the time that it was, and like cars that went by outside. And it's just, I don't really understand why I did that, but like I still know what I was. Kind of weird to think that like different realities are happening. And okay, I kind of blame or like hold someone else responsible for a few of my delusions, because someone was telling me about jackals this one time, and like I totally believed them. I shouldn't have believed them, but they were saying like there are these things and they're like radioactive beings and they do stuff, and there's people who know about them, and once you know about them you're like in danger or whatever. Like, I don't know, and it turned into this whole different thing in my mind, like everything is alive and can move. So I would be like trying to arrange things in a certain way so that I would know if they moved, and I would be like lining things up and like using playing cards and trying to like determine if they flipped over or got put in a different order. It was like pretty crazy, and I could have sworn that a few times they did, but I don't know. I don't know if I was just making stuff up at the time or like hallucinating, but like I don't know. It was actually this other time. Like, I swear this is true. I still don't know how to explain it to this day, because I'm almost certain that I wasn't imagining it. But I woke up one day and I went downstairs and I talked to my dad a little. And then I went back to my room and started like cleaning it a little. And then I smelled something weird. I didn't really think anything of it until my mom came in and said it was dinner time. And I was like, it's literally still morning. Like, are you lying to me? And she's like, no, look outside. The sun is setting. And I was just so confused. I was like, I literally just woke up and it was morning. I went downstairs and I ate breakfast. Like, yeah, that was just a weird experience. I don't know how that happened or whatever. But yeah, the smell that I smelled was actually dinner being cooked. And like that whole situation still confuses me. And when I told people about it, they didn't seem like overly surprised or interested in it, which also kind of confused me. Like, I don't even know how that could have happened, to be honest. And like things happened that day that I was there for, but like I swear I wasn't. Like, I was supposed to have a call with a psychiatrist that day, and I was there, and then my mom was like, remember he said this and this? And I was like, it's like the same thing he said yesterday, but like I didn't remember being there. And it was so strange. I don't understand what happened, really. I still don't. Like, it's just so confusing. But anyway, that's what happened when I was hyper manic. I would just believe in different realities, and I would also message a lot of people about this stuff, and they'd always be like super confused and be like, are you okay and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, believe what I'm saying, sort of thing, like this is going to happen. And like they were just confused and be like, oh, okay. And like I still go back to those messages sometimes and I'm like, ugh, it's so like cringy and bad. But yeah, so those things happen to people. I don't know what it's like for other people with bipolar, but I don't know if they have the same, like they definitely don't have the same hypermanic experiences that I do, but like delusions are also part of it, so I could see how that is. And if you're watching this because you want to know more about bipolar, or if you think you have it, like I'm probably gonna post different videos about stuff like that later, but this video is just explaining my experiences with it, really, and how I knew I had it and like what I did. So yeah, I'll see you guys on my next video, and I'm gonna try to keep up with this and let you guys know what I think about this and other mental health issues related to it. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.